Well, good afternoon, everybody. April 22nd. So my wife has on our calendar at home, April, the month that never ends. April 22nd, 2020. It is noon here in Arizona, and this is time I've set aside for the latest update on the Paycheck protection program with SBA. I sent out a couple updates this week. They were not and obviously last week they were not the updates that I was hoping to have for everybody, but they were the updates that we had. And I am in my t-shirt today, Captain America, because I still 100% believe in the spirit of American ingenuity and entrepreneurship and business owners. We are the lifeblood of this country. Even the people who end up joining a big giant company in corporate America, the ones in those companies who have the entrepreneurial spirit, they're the ones who make the difference in those big companies. So I still 100% believe in it. So my update for today is going to be absolutely built on the foundation of this is just what it means to be a business owner, and we can still do this. So really happy to see Congress moving finally on approving the second round of funding here. It passed the Senate vote, and it's scheduled, I think, to go up for a vote on tomorrow, Thursday, in the House. And all indicators there are that it will pass without any problems. Of course, White House has indicated it will be signed as well. I don't have any updates on when the actual, when they flip the switch within the SBA to say ready, set, go. But all indicators are it'll switch on as like Thursday afternoon, Friday. I just don't know. So what I would recommend is, here's my recommendations. The lender that we had the relationship with, unfortunately, I just don't have any more information from them about what the application process is going to be for all of my clients, unfortunately. So the resources that I pulled together are what I think right now are the best resources. I sent that out in an email 2 different times this week. If you didn't get that, feel free to reach out to us, team@KeystoneLawFirm.com, and we'll forward that information to you. But the lenders that I have my best information about who they are Lendio, Lendio, Cabbage. I'll explain the Chicago Consumer Law one in a second, Fountainhead, and Intuit. We've also heard that PayPal and Square are also very rapid at their processing. I didn't mention them on there because I learned about them after the fact. Knew about them, but didn't know they had a good process, so it seems that they do have a good process. The one that I want to dial into and explain a little bit more is the one with Chicago Consumer Law Center. So they are not a direct lender. They are a private law firm based in Chicago. I know the owner, and their specialty is really consumer debt and helping people, apply for different types of loans. This is all they've done for years. Figure out what loans to apply for, figure out how to get out of loans if they are in a bad situation, and just advising people about their rights regarding loans and debts. So they were just naturally right in the thick of this. The owner of this firm, the reason that they're on the list is because he is on the board of a small community bank there in Chicago, and he's helped them build this process internally, and he actually helped them get a lot of clients approved for funding directly on this PPP program. The catch with working directly with his firm is his firm charges a fee for this. So the bank will get their lender origination fee if you use him, but his firm charges actually an additional fee, It's $4,500. It's a flat fee, but he's including a lot of value for that. So you'll just have to decide whether that's worth it for you. Trustworthy, honest, good, reputable firm, somebody that I would personally recommend people to, and I have, and I am right now. So if you're looking for an option where you really want to have somebody outside of the bank giving you that kind of one-on-one, handheld through the whole, not just the application, but he's also going to be personally, through his law firm, making sure that you apply for and get the loan forgiveness application packaged and put together so that that forgiveness happens on the back end. So sort of, concierge level service from beginning to end through his law firm. And then obviously because you're working with him as a board member of that bank, I think as a board member of a bank, he should have some extra, clout to be able to bring his clients in through that process. So you just have to evaluate if that's something you want to do. The other ones that I've all listed there's no out-of-pocket cost for those. You just apply directly, but again, then you're just kind of in their giant list of customers that they're trying to process. All the indicators are right now still that the PPP or that the SBA is just going to be processing these loans on a first-come, first-served basis. So get your applications in right now with any or all of these resources that I've provided you. I don't believe that that any of them are better or worse than others. I don't have any indicators for that at all. So get in with whoever you can as many times as you can. The way I understand the process to work is if you apply with 5 different places, they all get to sort of churn and burn at the SBA, and whichever one of them gets you approved first, your tax ID number, your business tax ID number, will then get locked by the SBA so that if the rest of them get it in line, it'll bounce back saying, no, they've already been approved by the other one. So it won't, from my understanding, again, this program is brand new. The regulations still aren't even final, which is bizarre, but they're still not even final. So that's my current understanding of how it works, that there is no harm in applying with multiple vendors, that once one of them gets it approved, that then you sort of sign and lock everything down with the one. Here are, so if you, well, let me do this. These are some numbers that are a little mind-blowing for me of how this program has worked. So the SBA published who their top, not sorry, they didn't publish who. They published that their top lender who got the most dollars approved got $14 billion approved through this program, with an average loan size of just a little over $500,000. So their top lender was able, just one bank, one lender out there got $14 billion. They're not saying who that was. The next closest one got $10 billion, and it kind of trickles all the way down. The lender ranked 15th for the highest volume, got just shy of $3 billion approved. This is what's really amazing about this lender. $3 billion approved. Their average loan size was $72,000. That to me is incredible. They helped a ton of small businesses. I don't know who that is. I wish I did, because they'd be a really good lender to go through right now. The top industry was construction at almost $45 billion, and then right below that was professional, scientific, and technical services. Okay, so those are a couple of the numbers. Now let me give you guys some guidance on the forgiveness, because if you get into the second round and you're going to need to make sure you spend this money correctly so that it gets forgiven at the end, or you can just let it turn into a 2-year loan at 1%, one of the cheapest ways to get a loan. Okay, so out of all the money you get, you must spend at least 75% on things that qualify as payroll. You must, okay? If you don't spend at least that much on payroll, then forget it. You don't get any of it forgiven, okay? So here's what qualifies as payroll again. It's salary, wages, commissions, and tips. It is your employee benefits. So that can be vacation time or family medical sick leave. And then it can also be healthcare benefits and retirement benefits. So if it doesn't mean that you offered those things before, but if you pay for those things during the 8 weeks, then it'll count towards a qualified payroll expense. Now, if you have any employee that is paid more than $100,000 a year or $8,333 a month, then it's only that $8,333 a month that is counted towards being forgiven. So, if you have employees that are making over $100,000 a month, you can only use $8,333 per month during this 8 weeks to count towards what's being forgiven. So you have to track that. The sick leave that you can pay for is only covered or counted towards forgiveness if you do not also get benefits under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, that thing that was passed way at the beginning that added some more FMLA and sick leave coverage, okay? And then the other 25% of your amount can be used towards rent, mortgage interest, and utilities, okay? Okay, so that's how you have to use the money. And then the second piece of this is your number of staff and your amount of payroll. So your number of staff is going to be counted based on how many staff you had on February 15th, and then your level of payroll cannot be reduced. Okay. So don't reduce salaries or wages by more than 25%. You're allowed to reduce salaries or payroll by 25%, but not 25.1%. So if you need to reduce salaries and payroll and wages, don't go close to that 25% number, because even if you meet all the other criteria for how you spent the money, if you've lowered your salary and wages by that, then your forgiveness will just overall be reduced. You are allowed to rehire people. So if February 15th you had 10 people or you had 100 people, and you then laid off a bunch of people, but you want to get them back on, you have until June 30th to rehire and get back to that number. Okay, and all of the expenses, everything you spend this money on that you want to be forgiven, you've got to have documentation showing every single dollar, and you want to make that super, super clean so that your documentation adds up to your application for forgiveness. If you have $1 on here that says I'm applying for this, it's got to add up on there. Okay. Okay, so that's the forgiveness that we have right now. If you want all of these rules and you want to bore yourself to death and then waste your time, honestly, I wouldn't waste your time on this. But if you're a CPA, if you're in the financial services industry, or you're advising clients on this stuff, the resources for all of these rules are on the Treasury website, and you'll want to look up treasury.gov for the CARES Act, CARES, and I'll post this here in the chat box. This is where all of the resources, are in all the rules. What I want to tell you guys about that's absolutely insane is that if you look at the date these rules were published, it starts on March 31st, and then it happens just every few days after that. April 2nd, April 3rd, April 8th, April 2nd, April 3rd again, April 14th, April 16th, and April 17th. So we haven't had a new rule published in the last 3 business days. That's pretty awesome. But I won't be surprised. They're going to have to pass another couple rules because the new funding that's being approved has some differences. There's some things that are different in there, and this has just been a big game of speculation since the beginning. So we're just going to wait and see what those rules are. I'm hoping they're writing those rules right now. But once those are published, they should be posted to that website. All right, that's really kind of all I have as an update today. I would recommend going and getting your applications in with some of these lenders right now because it looks like they're going to just hold them in a pending spot, and once the SBA says go, they're just going to start firing off applications based on the order in which they received them. So go ahead and get applications in now. If we do get a better resource from the lender we were trying to work with, I will absolutely let everyone know and send that out as soon as I get it. But right now, this is the best information we have. As business owners, as entrepreneurs yourself, take this type of approach with your, with your business as you march through uncertain times. This isn't just the only thing that's uncertain right now. A lot of us are uncertain about where we're going to get our next customer, our next client, our next piece of business from, and we're worried about that. I recommend that you dig in as the leader of your firm, of your company, of your business, and let your people know, let your clients know, here's how I make decisions as someone running a business. I take the best information I have right now and I make next step decisions. Best information, next steps. Best information, next steps. And we can't ever live with beating ourselves up about, oh my gosh, I'm so mad. And though I have been in very heated discussions with my lender about what has happened, it's best information today. What's the next step? Best information today. What's the next step? And what did we learn about what happened yesterday, so that we can use that information to take our next step. So I give that approach to you guys. I encourage you to dig in on this and keep going after it. There are some other funding things that I want to, real quick, let me grab my other notes. There's a couple other programs that I want everybody to be aware of before you hang up. All right, one of them is the disaster assistance through the SBA. This is the EIDL, E-I-D-L, disaster loan relief. A lot of people were talking about this as a $10,000 grant and other things like that. Look for that on the, let me share that link with you guys in the chat box here. Look for that directly on the SBA's website. The program is out of funds, so you can't apply for it today, but I'm assuming that's going to be funded as well. I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm assuming that's going to get some more funding as well as this unfolds, because that can be another source of relief for you guys. We put an application in way early and basically got nothing. So, again, I can't explain why. But I've heard of plenty of businesses being funded on that. The other one is the employee retention credit. And let me give you guys this one. This is a credit from the IRS. This one's different, okay? Right here. The employee retention credit, there's harder criteria to qualify for this one than there are for these other two. There's no doubt this one's harder to qualify for, but a lot of businesses will qualify for this. And if you can show you've had significant economic decline in your business compared to the same quarter last year, then that's one of the big criteria you can get this. And there's some big credits here to pay for employees' wages. I'm not an expert on that, but that's I dug through it enough to know that there's some dollars there. And we've been playing around with our payroll system internally in our firm, and it's funny, when you go to select a box that says you're claiming this credit, it just immediately gives you the credit. I don't think we qualify, so we're not doing it. But look at that one and see if you qualify, because that could be direct dollars right away in your business bank account. And was that the last one? No, the last one was the, let me grab this one, the Families First Response Act. Okay, this one provides paid leave credits for employees, including you if you're a W-2 for your business. And again, this is one of those ones, not everyone's going to qualify for this, but if you do, there's some significant dollars here to help pay for employees' wages. So you have to look at the criteria for who qualifies for this leave, but some of your employees might qualify right now. I know, like this is one I hadn't been thinking about, but one of the reasons somebody could be eligible is if they're caring for a child whose school or daycare provider is closed. Well, I have a couple of employees who qualify under that, and so if we can trigger some FMLA benefits, there's actual dollar-for-dollar credits there up to a certain amount that can help pay for their salary. So look at those 3 other options that are available. Again, tighter criteria, harder to qualify for, but absolutely worth looking at. All right, there we go. That's the full update for today. I will absolutely be sending out more info as I learn it, more info as I get it. And if any of you hear something, the little magic birdie says, "Oh, here's this," feel free to send it back to us. I will include in our updates team at KeystoneLawFirm.com, and we'll share that with everybody, because you know what, we're all in this together, and we'd love to make sure everyone has the best resources. So, all right, that's all I got for today. If you guys have any questions, just shoot us an email, and we'll get an answer to you as soon as we can. All right, guys, go get them. We got to make this happen.